Hello, everyone, and welcome to GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling podcast. I'm running over here on YouTube.com, and it's time once again. We've had 3 weeks and 4 sets of predictions. This is the fourth one of them, and it is going to be AEW's All Out. AEW's definitely put on a very good showing for every single one of their pay-per-views so far, and I feel like they're going to do it again here with this particular show. But we'll see how everything is out playing out, because some of these matches could be a little bit awkward, a little bit weird to go along with that. And we're going to go off and start with one of those matches, actually, with this one as well. It is going to be Dr. Britt Baker going up against Big Swole in what is called a tooth and nails match. Now, what is that? What kind of match is that? Well, we don't really know the rules, but apparently it's going to be a cinematic style match. Actually, probably done in Britt Baker's dentistry office. So should be an interesting one to see how this ends up playing out. You know, the way they built Britt Baker up and how they built up Big Swole to get this match in general, I feel like this is going to be something that they put Britt Baker over, because just the way that they've built up Britt Baker during her time being injured, and how much mic time she's been getting. She's been building a story. Oh my God, they built a story in the women's division. It's something that they've been lacking very much within that division to begin with. Big Swole has actually been, getting built up quite well through this as well. I see them going with Britt Baker in this match, because I feel like they're going to have her going after that title at some point in time. And this is probably going to be the case with her coming back from the injury, that, they're going to put her over in this particular match. Up next, we have broken Matt Hardy, any variation of Matt Hardy, going up against Sammy Guevara. And if Matt Hardy loses this match, he is out of AEW. He says he's going to leave AEW if he loses. Well, I don't think that's going to be the case here. I feel like they're going to have Matt Hardy go over in this match. Now, this has been built up off of the factors of with how Sammy Guevara, split open Matt Hardy. This is continued on from the actual Stadium Stampede match, where, those two were building up through there. They were building up to a match before Sammy Guevara got suspended, and now they are going to be blowing off the probably the final match in this feud at All Out. I don't see them putting Guevara over, because I don't feel like they're going to have Matt Hardy go away that quickly, unless if they're going to just do, oh, this version of Matt Hardy's gone, and now here's this version. Which wouldn't really be the case, because all those versions usually show up in some way, shape, or form. So I see Matt Hardy going over in this match. And up next is a number one contendership match for the AEW Tag Team titles. It is going to be Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, the Jurassic Express, going up against the Young Bucks. And this is probably going to be pretty evident, and maybe even a little bit of a spoiler of who I think is going to be winning the AEW Tag Team title match. But I am going to go with the Young Bucks in this match. As much as I would like to see Jurassic Express just go over in this, and, they put them over in some way, shape, or form, they're going to go with the Young Bucks. Like I said, they're probably aiming towards a match with FTR at some point in time. Maybe that's a little bit of a spoiler. We'll see if that's an actual spoiler for my prediction for the AEW Tag Team title match, but I am going to go with the Young Bucks in this match. Up next, we have the Dark Order, which is going to be Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, Colt Cabana, and Mr. Brody Lee going up against Matt Cardera, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares as QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. They've built up they've built up the Dark Order over the last few weeks, especially with how they had Brody Lee win that TNT title. I don't see them really dousing that momentum that they have at this point, and having them take a loss here. I see the Dark Order going over in this match. Really nothing too much for me to really say on this, but I'm going to go with the Dark Order. Up next, we have the Casino Battle Royal. I've never been a big fan of this match. They did it at Double or Nothing the first time around, but it was won by Adam Hangman Page. And then they did do it again last year at All Out, which it ended up being won by... I believe, Nyla Rose, because that was the female one that set up for the first AEW Women's Title Match, and Nyla Rose won that one. They're doing it again here. I've never been a big fan of this, but basic rules that what they go through is normal battle royal, except you gain entry through your suited cards. 5 people come out. They come out in groups of 5, 4 sets, and then you have 1 Joker card, which they've announced pretty much everybody with the exception of one, who I would imagine is going to be the final person coming out. It will be interesting to see if that will be a surprise entrant or anything to go along with that. When it comes down to everything, I don't feel like they've really had their surprise entrants really win, with the exception of Adam Hangman Page. He came out as the Joker once, and he did come out as the Joker, and he ended up winning. But in the last one, that the Joker did not end out winning at all. And actually, didn't they do it again they did do it again at this year's Double or Nothing. And that was won by Brian Cage, which he was the Joker. Interesting. Interesting factor to that. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I don't think the Joker, whoever pulls out the Joker card and comes out as the last person, is going to win. I'm not even really going to speculate on who it is. I'll just see how it ends out turning out in the end. But my pick for this one to get an AEW title shot somewhere down the line is, I went down with 2 people. I went with Eddie Kingston, who came in with a lot of fanfare after his time with NWA. But I am going to go with Lance Archer. Not exactly certain why on that one. I know he's been winning a lot when it comes towards AEW Dark. I don't really watch AEW Dark on a weekly basis, but he's definitely been doing really well over there. And I just see them giving something to Lance Archer because he hasn't really done much of anything since he's been brought in. He had the one match at Double or Nothing for the TNT title with Cody, and then basically nothing. So I feel like they're going to probably give him something with this, and he'll end out getting a title match down the line. So I'm going to go with Lance Archer to pick up the victory in this. Up next, we do have that AEW Women's Title Match. It is going to be Hikaru Shida, the AEW Women's Champion, going up against Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's Champion. This is kind of telling where they feel like their women's division is at this point. You almost felt like that this should have been kind of a rematch between Hikaru Shida and Nyla Rose, but we haven't seen Nyla Rose since the women's tag team tournament. She hasn't really done anything to go along with that, and it felt like they were building back up to have that type of match, but they ended up going with Thunder Rosa and bringing somebody outside of the company to face Hikaru Shida at the pay-per-view, which this match itself never really had any type of build-up. You've only had like one stare down, which was at the contract signing. Thunder Rosa did have a match on AEW Dynamite recently, in which what I thought was actually a really good match with her and Serena Deeb, but they didn't do anything with Hikaru Shida. She has not had a match on TV since August 12th. Yeah, that was the last time I think she's been even seen on there outside of the contract signing. Now, with that being said, do I feel like they're going to give Thunder Rosa that title? This is going to be the telling thing. If they have signed Thunder Rosa, I feel like they will put that title on her. But with her being the NWA Women's Champion, and it looks like NWA is going to be running some form of shows here very soon, I don't think that's going to be the case. Hikaru Shida, she's very talented in the ring. They really haven't done much with her as champion since she won the title. They did do a decent amount with her building up to get to the title, but since she's had it, they haven't done much with her. I feel like this match is actually going to be a sleeper hit because Again, both of them are really talented in the ring, and if they gel well, I feel like this is going to be a fantastic match. I'm going to go with Hikaru Shida on this one. I don't think they're bringing in somebody from outside of AEW to take the AEW Women's title, but I feel like we could get a really good match out of this one. So this is going to bring us to the AEW Tag Team titles. It is going to be Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega going up against FTR. They have been doing, I thought, a really good job with building up this match. I really do. With, Hangman costing the Young Bucks the gauntlet, him getting kicked out of Elite, but he's still teaming with somebody who's in the Elite, and Kenny Omega, who has been showing heel tendencies on his own. Is it? You also even saw that with a little bit with the Bucks and Jurassic Express on Dynamite, where they were kind of, more aggressive, a little bit more heelish in their ways of going on this one. And FTR has been kind of just playing the game and getting in Adam Hangman Page's mind throughout the entire bit. They got in his head to stop the Young Bucks. They're getting in his head now. That lasting shot they did on Dynamite, where they both held on both FTR members had a tag team title in their hand, and Page was like, what, those are ours. Give it to us. They just drop it on the ground. Page picks them up, and he goes to hand one to Kenny. But they framed it in such a way it's like you didn't realize that Kenny was out of the ring. And he was just holding the title. And then they panned out, and there's Kenny just sitting out there, staring down Page. He's left on his own going into the title match. It's going to be very telling to see where they go with this match in some way. I'm going to go with FTR picking up the victory here and taking those tag team titles. I don't feel like they put over I don't feel like, even though FTR kind of got the one up going into the pay-per-view, I don't think they got way too over in that particular side where they can't win the match. So I'm going to go with FTR in this one, and they're going to pick up those AEW tag team titles, and they're going to probably start their feud towards the Young Bucks. I mean, this is kind of one of the reasons why FTR is even there, is to start that feud with the Young Bucks. So I feel like that's where they're going to be going with it, and we'll see how that ends up playing out in the end. So we're going into Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy, and it is a Mimosa Mayhem match. And oh man, when I saw this one for the first time and saw that it was tweeted out, I'm like, man, this sounds like the most WWE style match, or should I even say Vince Russo style match that I've ever seen. The winner of this match can either win by pinfall, submission, or throwing their opponent into a vat of mimosa. Now, it's very telling that pinfall and submission count in this match. Because I think at this point we all probably kind of know, they could be just swerving us with it as well. Jericho's probably going into that mimosa in some way, shape, or form. But because they added pinfall and submission in this one, Orange Cassidy's going to get to embarrass Chris Jericho. But Jericho's winning this match. I'm going to pick Chris Jericho to win this. He did put over Orange Cassidy clean a few weeks ago. And I feel like it's just going to be a case of them, having Jericho end up going over in the match. He's going to get embarrassed in the end, though. So Chris Jericho is going to be my pick. Up next after this, though, is going to be the main event of the night. It is the AEW title match. It is Jon Moxley going up against Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. Oh man, they've done a pretty good job of building this one up as well. The whole aspect of MJF doing a kind of like a campaign to be the champion, I thought they've done really well. It did have its hiccups here and there, but overall, pretty good build. Moxley, just kind of Moxley is just kind of doing his thing. I like the work that MJF has done so far, especially on the mic, and he's really talented in the ring to go along with it. It's quote unquote a clash of styles. It's the brawler versus somebody who is more of a technical wrestler slash of course heel, aka a cheater, to go along with it. The paradigm shift, interesting enough, is going to be banned because, well, Moxley decided to sign the contract. And then, lo and behold, he also had to fight the lawyer because he decided to add that into page 17 of the contract as well. What lawyer doesn't read the contract? Apparently that one. So it's going to be interesting to see how this ends up playing out. Now, they could definitely work this through in some way, and they could technically, quote unquote, get the paradigm shift into this match, but it's not called the paradigm shift. It's called the Death Rider when he's in New Japan. Now and they can even play it off as like there's slight variations of it for the entire thing in that one as well. So we'll see how they end up playing that off. Oddly enough, with how MJF went over on Dynamite this week and how he went over on that beatdown, I was going into this prediction initially saying it's like, this is going to be MJF. They're going to put that title on MJF. But man, with the way he went over on Dynamite, makes me think differently. It makes me think differently because it almost felt like an overabundance of a beatdown that he got on Moxley. So I'm going to go with Jon Moxley in this one. They're going to keep that title on Mox for a little bit longer. Will MJF have that AEW title at some point? Absolutely he will. Will it be at this pay-per-view? At least by my predictions, apparently not. But there's always a good possibility of that as well. I mean, with some of these as well, there's a good possibility of them going the exact opposite way to go along with it. We'll see how it ends up playing out. I feel like we've got a good show coming along with this one as well, and should be extremely enjoyable. For purposes of other things that I am going to be doing, I know I have not been doing the reviews for the pay-per-views. I am going to try to get a review out for this one before Dynamite down the line. The thing about a live reaction, I don't think that's going to happen because I do work that day and I do get out probably an hour into the show already. I know it's a 4-hour show, but by the time I get home and probably get ready for things and whatnot, they'll probably be about 2 hours into the show. Usually, like I said, they go about 4 hours when it comes to these. But I don't see me doing live reactions, but I'm going to try to get a review out. I am going to probably start watching it once I get home, and then I'm going to finish the beginning portions of it afterwards and maybe be able to try to do a review as well. But we'll see how everything ends up playing out. And we'll see how the show ends up going out as well. With that being said, everybody, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great rest of your night.